Hello, bonjour, namaste, ni hao, and ohio everybody. What is going on? It is Galeriot here, and welcome back to the YouTube channel once again for another Danmachi Memoria Freese video. And today we are going to be taking a look at the Grande Succession Gacha as well as the Grande Legend Gacha. And we're going to be talking about whether or not you should be summoning on these banners and of course trying to obtain these units. So of course, if you guys go on to enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel for more Danmachi and Danmachi Memoria Freese content, and let me know in the comment section down below, are you guys planning on summoning for these banners? And if you have already summoned, what did you guys end up getting? And if you haven't summoned, what's stopping you? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say down below. Now, I am going to be setting aside sentiment, emotional attachment, nostalgia, bias aside in this video purely because honestly, I think it will affect my decision when it comes to this banner. Because to be quite honest, when it comes to the Grande Gacha units, right, I think these are probably some of the most iconic banners, to be quite honest. And the reason is because it is the first anniversary Gacha units, right? First and foremost, there's that, and then second of all, just generally the memories I have attached to these 4 units, right, is something else. It's just genuinely something else. I cannot explain it. There's a high level of emotional attachment to these units, right? And so I am going to be setting aside all of that to say that you guys probably should not summon on this banner. And the first reason behind that is because all 4 of these units are non-time limited gacha units. And honestly, I think most players, if you have been playing for at least over a year now, with all the anniversaries and everything, with the double rates gacha banners, the free 11 draws, you probably would have gotten at least one of these units, tickets as well, mind you, right? So you probably have gotten at least 1 or 2 of these units, on all honesty. And then furthermore, if you want to MLB them, all you need is prism bonds, right? You don't need to go for star bonds or anything of that sort. These are non-time limited units, so you can use prism bonds on these units. So of course, that is one factor and one of the reasons why I will say that most players should probably skip these banners. The second reason comes down to effectively what's coming up in the game. You obviously have the Haruhime Hestia banner coming up, of course, which features 2 new units, right? And then furthermore, in the coming weeks, we have Xenos Reverse Rerun. We have, of course, Argonaut Part 1 as well coming out. So you obviously have the upcoming anniversaries, also rerunning as well, right? The 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and potentially 5th anniversaries rerunning in the next couple of months. And so I would probably say that most players should just save for that. In all honesty, you could probably save for units that are actually time limited, units that are brand new, right? And I think most players will probably end up doing that, and I can understand it completely as to why they would make that decision to do so, of course, right? And then the third reason is something that we will delve into later on in this video, which is of course the balance updates that these units have received. They have received some solid buffs, don't get me wrong, right? Hestia as an assist got a relatively solid buff, I would say. Bell is okay, I would say. Lafia got a very decent buff, I would say. And then Eyes is very decent as well. But generally, decent doesn't cut it in this day and age of, Hero Festas and everything. I feel like when you look at everything else that has released in the last couple of weeks and months, right? And along with the typings of these units, there are far better options, and I would probably say that you're better off going with said options, in all honesty. So for me, I just feel like most players will probably want to skip these banners just so they can focus on future banners that are yet to come, effectively, be it rerun banners of anniversaries that you may love, or be it new units that are going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks and months, of course, right? So there you have it. I would say that that is the primary thing I will say about these banners, and the primary advice I would give you guys in regards to these banners is just avoid these banners. It's just a straight up no. You should not summon on these banners whatsoever, purely because, well, 4 of these units, like I said, non-time limited. You also have the factor of new banners coming out and everything, and more reruns coming out. And then finally, the third reason being basically that these balance updates, while strong and very hefty, I would say, aren't significant enough either. So keep that in mind. Now let's take a look at the banners themselves before we cast even further judgment, of course, right? So first and foremost, you have the Grande Succession Gacha, which will probably feature either Lafia or Eyes. And if you take a look right here, it does feature Lafia, of course, right? Because remember, it's a 2-unit banner. they kind of have to take one of the units from the other banner and shift it over to this banner, and Hestia from this banner will be on the other banner, right? So obviously on this banner we have Belle, Lafia, and Hestia, and in all honesty I would probably say that this is the better banner, to be quite honest. Frankly speaking, while I do like eyes, if you're looking for a dual fire combination and everything, this probably will be a little bit better. Plus you're getting a decent assist here, right? So keep that in mind, of course, right? All right, so you can see right here how the steps work. So for the first, third, fifth, seventh, and ninth draws, you only spend 200 iris. The other draws are 400 iris, but you're also guaranteed the units on those other draws as well. So second, fourth, sixth, eighth, and 10th steps, it is the guaranteed 4-star that can be either Belle or Hestia effectively, right? So let's take a look at Honor Succession Belle Crenel first and foremost. Of course, we'll check his balance updates out, and of course if you want to check my reaction to the changes they made in the initial version to the final version that we got right now, you can go and check it out. It's already on the channel. Right now I'm going to be talking about their kits in the modern era. In that video I was just obviously talking about how I felt about the buffs and generally what I thought about it. Today I'm going to be talking about how good they can be in the current meta, what teams can they slide into, and what can they do basically, right? So first and foremost, let's take a look at Belle Crenel. Honor Succession Belle Crenel, physical fire attacker, and good stats boosts overall. Of course, yet again, this is an issue I've had with Danmemo as a whole, is that whenever they do balance updates, right, they do not change the HP stat, and I don't know why. That is probably the thing that kills off a lot of these balance updates, purely because it's a struggle to sometimes keep units alive, right? It's something I complained about in the 3rd anniversary reruns as well, but of course in there the units were solid enough to basically cover that issue entirely, right? The likes of your Lyra and stuff, right? So that is something to bear in mind. Now let's take a look at the special arts effect. Argonaut Incarnation. Foes ultra fire magic attack indexed to strength with temporary great strength boost and ultra critical rate. So this is something that not a lot of units have. In fact, no modern unit has this, not since Honor Succession Belle himself actually, and that is the fact that he has a magic attack on his special arts, but it is based on his strength stat. Now the thing is, right, this is a very interesting concept that I feel that they could have easily expanded on in the game itself. However, with the way Record Buster is, right, where there can be a weakness to either physical or magic, right, you are going to struggle to choose Belle as a unit and as an option for those stages, because if he launches a magic attack but they are magic resisted, well, that's a problem, because the rest of his kit is physical, but like he'll be fine in the normal fight. But then when you launch his special arts, it's like, uh-oh, that's a bit of an issue. And vice versa as well. Take him into a magic weak stage but a physically resisted stage, and then it's like, well, his skills are useless but his special arts is good, right? So it becomes a problem there where he doesn't know what he's wanting to be effectively, right? And then furthermore, if you look at the rest of his kit, right, and P-Res and Fire Res minus 60% for 3 turns and removes STR and magic buffs. I think the rest of it is fantastic, but why not also put in magic res minus 60% as well? Why not go the extra distance? Why not go the extra mile? Because you've got a kit right here that has both magic and physical attack, so why not do both? You know, I think that would have been a little bit better, and I think they could have kept the fire res minus 60% as well, because at the end of the day, these units are like 5 years old, quite literally. They're like 5 years old, so why not just let us have some fun, you know, with these units? So that's a little bit of an issue I have with Belle, of course, right, is that duality that he has, right? First combat skill is a sharpness. It is an AoE mid-fire physical attack with ultra and counter rate, and removes wind attack damage buffs and STR and magic minus 40%, and he gives himself fire attack damage, P-Res, M-Res plus 60% for 4 turns, and then 3 additional actions of mid-fire physical attack on foes, and 60% HP regen for 1 turn on self. Very stall-like here, right? Removing wind attack damage, fire, giving himself P-Res, M-Res, and then giving himself HP regen on his additional action. So there is a little bit of effective debuffs going on the enemy and making sure that he's alive and everything. So that is an interesting take they've gone with this Belle. I feel like it would have probably been a little bit better if they'd gone full on offense with this guy. I think it would have been amazing. Molten Spike is his single target attack. It's a single target super fire physical attack damage plus 80% per each self SCR buff skill. Very basic, probably a little bit minute. I would have preferred it if it was like around 190%, 180%, sorry, not 90%. I was hoping it would be damage plus 90% per each self STR buff skill so that it could become 180. But right now it is 80 into 160, which it is what it is. That 20% could have made a bit of a difference, to be quite honest. It wouldn't have made a major difference, but it would have made a bit of a difference. Sweeping Strike is an AoE super fire physical attack with temporary strength boost and a high on guard rate and P-res minus 40%, self STR 75% for 4 turns. Removes P-res, M-res debuffs, and damage received, attack type, all targets increase. So it removes any P-res and M-res debuffs on the allies, it seems like, or self, sorry, it's on himself only. So he removes that, and then he also removes any sort of AoE damage increasing debuff that is on him as well. So basically he's just protecting himself. Again, this is a unit that is a classic stall unit, but it's only for himself primarily, which is very, very interesting to say the least. I personally feel like Bell is not something that you'll see in the meta. His additional passives aren't amazing either. Again, it kind of fits his whole shtick of being a sort of like I said, stall unit, but I don't know, man. I feel like they could have gone a different direction with Bell. It's kind of unfortunate that they made Bell like this. Again, I will be, by the way, doing showcases for these units. I will probably be streaming, not streaming, but I will probably be recording a bunch of footage in War Games and also in 7 Zone, taking all 3 of these units in. Let me know if you guys would like to see like a combined showcase where I just go over all 3 of them at the same time, or would you guys like to see them separately on their right teams? Let me know in the comments. I'm actually curious to see where you guys would like to see me use these units. Now, let's take a look at Elf's Honor Lafia Verdis, a fire magic attack type unit. Honestly, before the balance updates came out, I was kind of cautiously optimistic about Lafia, purely because of how fire magic is pretty dominant in the game right now, or just magic in general, how dominant it is. I was kind of expecting some good things from this Lafia, you know. And then of course you look at the stats, it's not bad at all, nothing crazy, nothing bad. Horror Lavatine is an AoE ultra fire magic attack, damage plus 70% per each target's MRS reduction skill, which is really solid. I think that's going to be super damage dealing. The special arts is going to hit hard. And then on top of that, she also gives allies fire attack damage and critical rate plus 100% for 3 turns. Not bad at all, not shabby at all. First combat skill is Kindling. It's an AoE mid-fire magic attack with ultra and counter rate and agility, dexterity, guard rate minus 40% for 4 turns. Very solid there. Of course, removing agility as well can come in handy, of course, right? Removes fire res buffs and self plus reactions of mid-fire magic attack on foes and critical rate and penetration rate plus 50% for 2 turns on allies. Very solid skill right here. I think really, really good. I don't really have too many complaints about this. Again, I think the only thing I would say is maybe it could have been slow fire attack, adding value to that minus 40% agility, right? But still, very, very solid. And even more so than anything else, I feel like what's really, really nice here is the ability to remove fire res buffs. That kind of gives her some value on the fire magic team going up against the likes of a Hero Festa Bell, right? The water Hero Festa Bell. That can come in handy massively because, of course, if you guys didn't know, the Hero Festa Water Bell does give himself fire res, 60% I think it is as well. So it is ridiculously annoying to face off against him if you are running fire units. So a unit like Lafia may come in handy, of course, right? Second skill, Laid Waste, is the exact same as Bell's Molten Spike. It's just that it's a magic attack and it's based on her magic buff skill. Again, would have been nice if it went up to 90% instead of 80%. That would have made a bit of a difference in my personal opinion. That would have made a bit of a difference. Immolation is her final skill. It is a AoE fast high fire magic attack with temporary magic boost and MRes minus 40% and self magic and fire attack damage plus 70% for 4 turns. Very solid overall. I really like Lafia. I think she's probably the favorite in this set, to be quite honest, for me personally. Let me know who your guys' favorites is in this list, of course, right, of units. Hestia, Lafia, Bell, or Eyes. Let me know in the comment section down below. Now, let's take a look at Ceremonial Flame Hestia. And I think she's probably the second best here. Goddess's Prayer plus does null ailment times 3 and agility, dexterity, and endurance plus 15%. Before the balance update, it was only times 2, and also there was no agility buff. The rest of it was exactly the same. So for me personally, I think this is pretty darn solid. I think getting agility plus null ailments is a great way to combine the two together. However, I still maintain they should have done null ailment times 4. I don't understand this notion that WFS has had twice now, by the way, both with Seer when she had her rerun in the 3rd anniversary, the one that reduces P-Res, M-Res as well, and now this Hestia as well. Why not just give them ×4? You've given us like 3 or 4 different null ailment ×4s already, so may as well give us one extra through the reruns. I don't get it, because Asfi from the 3rd anniversary rerun got 25% extra damage from single target attacks when she was originally 20%. That made her the same as Kid Felice basically. So I just don't get it. I don't get it. I would have easily taken the agility away to get null ailment ×4. Honestly, I genuinely would have. But we'll have to wait and see if they decide to release another ×4 null in the near future, because I desperately need one, to be quite honest. I really do desperately need one. Now let's take a look at eyes before we wrap up this video, and I want to talk about these units generally in terms of their usage. So Eyes is a physical attacker that is now wind as well, which is very interesting, because I feel like it would have been nice if they just kept her elementalist. It would have made things so much more interesting, and it would have changed things up drastically. So for me, I think that was a missed opportunity by the Danmemo devs, but it is what it is. As you can see, the stats are right there. Very similar stats to Bell, by the way. Very, very similar. Eerily similar even, I would say. But yeah. Her special arts Radiant Little Rafaga is a single target ultra wind physical attack damage plus 90% per each self STR buff skill and ultra critical rate, and she also gives herself STR and wind attack damage plus 120% for 3 turns, and then 4 additional actions of high wind physical attack with high critical rate and status debuff plus 2 turns on foe, and wind attack damage plus 100% for 3 turns on allies. Very solid ability right here. Very nice special arts, giving that support ability, the additional actions, and also being able to deal a lot of damage. I think is very solid. Again, would I have preferred 100% in favor of something else? Probably. But is 90% not bad at all? Yes, it is not bad at all. So I think that is something that we have to keep in mind. Now, the first combat skill is Blade Dance. It's an AoE mid-wind physical attack with temporary strength boost and ultra on counter rate and STR magic and heal, minus 40% and self STR plus 75% for 4 turns, and 3 additional actions of mid-wind physical attack with high critical rate and status debuff plus 2 turns on foes, and wind attack damage plus 60% for 3 turns on allies. A lot of stuff happening here. Let's dissect it. So first and foremost, she does have an AoE attack. I think this is very similar to the likes of Eyes, and of course Finn from the 5th anniversary, right, where you have a single target special arts and you have a really strong 3rd skill. That's a special art, that's a single target skill, right? And then of course your rest of your kit is AoE focused, and it works really well. So this is something similar, I feel like, as well. STR magic and heal minus 40%, giving herself 75% STR as well, and then the additional action providing that support ability as well. I think that's a very solid addition as well, and can help out the team massively. Face Slicer is an AoE fast high wind physical attack with temporary strength boost and P-Res and a wind res minus 35% for 1 turn, and removes god rate, counter rate, heal buffs, and HP regen. I think that's really solid, the last part of it. I just feel like that 1 turn could have easily been 2 or 3 turns, and nobody would have batted an eye. I think that is something that they need to they should have probably considered when they were working on the balance adjustments for this Eyes. Small things like that can make a bit of a difference, to be quite honest. And then finally we have Stiletto, which is a single target super wind physical attack damage plus 80% per each target's P-Res reduction and ultra and god rate. Now for this one, I will say, by the way, that this should have been also 90%, and I think I doubled down on this one being 90% more so than Lafia or Belle, purely because she is a single target attacker. Why not just give her that extra bit of usability so that people will go out of their way to use her? Because look at this skill development ability chart. I just don't feel like it's any amazingness there. So to be quite honest, I would probably say that Eyes is a unit that is going to be fun to just use in certain occasions. However, I feel like generally speaking, the only usable unit here, in my personal opinion, in some way, shape or form, is Lafia. I think that she is by far and away the most usable one here. But even then, I would probably say that, you know, there are better options. I feel there are better options. So yeah, keep that in mind. And Hestia as well, great assist, great option. But there are null ailment ×4 units and everything. So frankly speaking, I would probably say that skip again. Just doubling down on what I said earlier on. Skip these banners. They're just not worth your time and your iris. Probably save up for the summer banners instead. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please be sure to leave a like down below. Of course, if you guys enjoyed this video, let me know in the comment section down below. Did you guys summon on these banners? And if so, what did you guys end up getting? I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day, evening, afternoon, wherever you may be. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Until then, take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.